Hi, this is Mark Jewell, the co-founder of the Efficiency Sales Professional Institute in downtown San Francisco. Today we're going to talk about leveraging benchmarking to build your business. I guess the first thing we should talk about is, what are you really selling when you're talking about benchmarking? Remember that most decisions are made emotionally and then they're justified financially. So whenever you go to approach benchmarking as a business, keep that in the back of your mind. So I ask you, what is your prospect thinking when you think about offering benchmarking services to that prospect? Is their main goal to figure out how well they're performing against their neighbors? Do they even understand what benchmarking holds in terms of the potential for improving their buildings and making them more competitive, profitable, and valuable? Do they wonder why they haven't heard about benchmarking in a very long time? Whatever. What is your prospect thinking? Now, let's think about some of the emotions that may be going through their minds. Fear, pride, security, control, thrift. There are lots of emotions that can drive behavior. Most people make decisions emotionally and then justify them financially. So what might be going on in this prospect's mind? One of the things that you can bring to the table as you're providing the opportunity to benchmark a person's building is really good empirical evidence as to the impact that benchmarking has had on portfolios that have had the discipline to benchmark themselves over a number of years consecutively. This is a recent EPA analysis of more than 30,000 buildings that consistently tracked energy consumption in Portfolio Manager over a multi-year period. And you can see here that they've justified a 7% average energy savings and a 6-point Energy Star score increase between these years, 2008 to 2011. Now, for more information, this study is available at www.energystar.gov/data trends, data trends being one word. So, if you approach a prospect with the idea of, okay, I think you should actually, start thinking about benchmarking your building, it's not as if you have to make it up that people who have consistently benchmarked their buildings have had outsized success in increasing their Energy Star score and also decreasing their energy use overall. Another piece of evidence that you may bring to the table is this one. No less than a half a dozen studies over the last roughly same number of years that talk about how in statistically significant terms, the presence of an Energy Star label in a commercial building has been associated with increased outcomes like increased rent, decreased vacancy, increased sales price. So these are all things that make real estate investors put their pants on in the morning when they go to work. And the idea of associating the positive attribution of a Energy Star label on their building and with these results that they always seek in their careers, that's a good thing to bring up when you're trying to convince someone to allow you to benchmark their building. Now, what is Energy Star? Obviously it's a management tool, it's a metrics tool. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Energy Star, I would refer you to the ultimate guide to benchmarking with Energy Star Portfolio Manager, which is another service that we offer on sellingenergy.com. In fact, in certain utility territories, it's underwritten by the utility. The use of that tool is underwritten. But it's a choose-your-own-adventure tool that talks about any number of dimensions of the tool, why you should use it, what property types are available to be benchmarked, how you can actually produce reports, how you can set targets, baselines, the whole bit. There are more than 1,000 slides in there, and they're all video recorded so that you can choose little modules and educate yourself on all the functionality of the Energy Star Portfolio Manager tool and why you'd want to use it. One of the things is for sure, the ability to make connections is going to really be your strong suit when you're selling Energy Star benchmarking services to a customer. Many customers have access to raw data, but they really lack the insight to cherry pick it and shape it into meaningful solutions to increase their profits, save money, or whatever. And frankly, most of them are too close to the day-to-day operations and too directly involved to really step back and see how their performance is affecting their competitiveness, profitability, and value, and that's where you come in. Now, the ability to link features to benefits, which ultimately link to values, that's the job of the sales professional. And it's very, very strongly in evidence in the ability to bring Energy Star benchmarking services to your prospects and show them that it will help them get closer to the things that they truly value. So I get back to why people might be wanting to do this. Compliance, profit gain, loss avoidance, recognition. These are all reasons that people would say, I've got a value that I want to be in compliance with regulations. I want to have greater profit in my business. I want to avoid loss. I mean, what if I find out that my neighbor's building is an Energy Star building and mine is not? Now I lose a tenant as a result of that tenant site locator having a checkbox that they have to check in order to seriously entertain my building for their future home. I don't have it. My next door neighbor's building has it. Now all of a sudden I've lost a potential tenant. And what about recognition? I mean, some of the most famous, successful Energy Star initiatives have been born out of competitions that are hosted by the city or Building Owners and Managers Association, whatever. Seattle's done it, Boston, Portland's done it, Minneapolis most recently did it, where they have a kilowatt crackdown or an energy smackdown or some other similarly silly title of a contest. But bottom line is, it's certainly not silly in intent. It's an opportunity for building owners to compete for recognition in their city using the Energy Star Portfolio Manager as the barometer of how much improvement they've exercised in their building over a 12-month period.